My name is Susan Holloway. I'm 34 years old, born into a well-manicured lie on the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina. My mother taught Sunday school. My father owned half the local bank. And my sister? Jolene was the family's favorite melody, flawless, adored, and untouchable. I was the background noise. While she basked in spotlighted applause, I was learning to fold myself into silence. Every man I ever brought home, she took from me like it was a game. And the worst part? No one ever stopped her. Not my parents. Not the men. Not even me. For years, I swallowed it all, until the day I let her take the last one on purpose. And that's when everything began to burn. Click. The lighter flared in my hand as I dropped another photo into the bathroom sink. The paper curled. Elias's smile disappeared first, then mine. Then Jolene's lips, still glossy, mid-kiss. Always mid-kiss. I hadn't spoken to her in 6 weeks. That was a record. I met Elias at DEF CON in Vegas. Not a place for romantics, but that was the point. He didn't flirt. He didn't brag. He asked me about proxy tunneling and Linux firewalls before he asked my name. His hands were precise. His sentences cleaner than code. I fell for the silence between his words. He lived an hour north in Greenville. We rotated locations. Neutral towns. No tagging. No photos. No chance for Jolene to spot a pattern. I thought I was in control. Then I sent one photo. Just one. A mirror selfie. Stupid, harmless. My hair pulled back. Coffee cup. Elias blurred in the background, shirtless, walking past the bedroom door. I sent it to Megan, a friend I hadn't seen in months. 6 hours later, I got this. Is that your guy? Jolene's asking. The room chilled. I didn't reply. I didn't breathe. Instead, I drove 90 miles per hour, past midnight, to Elias's apartment. He opened the door in boxers, rubbing sleep from his eyes. You okay? No, I said. Don't post anything. Don't reply to anyone. Jolene saw you. A beat. Then let's make it interesting. Interesting. That was the word. He walked back inside, like it was a Tuesday. Like I hadn't just handed him a viper with a name. Elias didn't seem scared. Not of Jolene. Not of me. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't scared either. I let her take him. Let her circle him like she always did. But this time I watched. A week later, I saw her car outside his apartment. Black Audi. Same model she totaled in college. Daddy bought her another one before the police report dried. I watched from the deli across the street. Wide windows. BLT untouched in front of me. I didn't need to see them kiss. I knew the choreography. She'd touch her lips. Laugh. Let her hand graze his forearm. She was a script written in seduction. The next morning, Elias came home. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. You let her in. He tossed his keys on the table. You let her find me. She's poison. She's data. I blinked. What? She's predictable, he said. Every variable in place. You just needed a test. I didn't know if he meant Jolene or me. Maybe both. He poured coffee like nothing happened. I watched the steam rise. My heart didn't. People don't fear what they understand. They fear what watches them and says nothing. And Elias? He was watching. Both of us. This time, I wanted her to take him. I just never said what came after. Tuesday, 4:07 p.m. Elias's hoodie still hung on the kitchen chair. I hadn't touched it. The faint smell of cedar and cold code clung to the cotton. He hadn't shaved. His texts were short. One-word answers. Something in him had shifted, and I'd handed her the knife to do it. I didn't need to guess. I knew Jolene's timeline like the back of a burned scar. First, she flirts from a distance. Then she accidentally shows up in his orbit. Same coffee shop, same lecture, same Spotify playlist. I made sure she had the playlist. I watched her Instagram like a hawk in reverse. Jolene was precise, down to her tags. She liked a latte photo from the Hive in Greenville. I refreshed the coffee shop's tag stories. There. A mirror snap. A blurred outline behind her. Elias, same coat, same watch. She'd made contact. I didn't call him. Let her have him, I told myself. Let her taste it. They met again. Then again. By Thursday, she was posting a quote on her story. Some men make you feel like silk. Others make you feel like glass. That was hers. She always used metaphors about fabric or breakage. It made her sound poetic. It made her sound like she didn't steal. It just happened. She didn't know I was watching. I waited for the fallout. Friday night, he didn't come home. I cooked chicken Alfredo. Too much garlic. Burnt the edges. Poured 1 glass of wine. Sat across from the empty chair. Watched the condensation sweat down the bottle. By midnight, I checked the window 5 times. No car. No message. No sound except the old clock ticking. I hated that clock. My father's gift. Still worked. Still mocked me. At 1:12 a.m., headlights sliced across the wall. He walked in like nothing happened. Hair damp. Smelled faintly of mint and gasoline. Dropped his keys. Toed off his shoes. Jacket off. Laptop bag on the table. You were out, I said. He nodded. With her. Another nod. A pause. He looked up. Want to know what she asked me?
What?
My password. I laughed once.
Dry.
You give it to her? I gave her 6. He booted his laptop. Fingers danced across the keys. None of them work. My heart jumped. You played along. I don't trust her, but I trust the patterns. He turned the screen to face me. A folder labeled J_Hunter blinked into existence. Encrypted. Layered deep behind aliases and fake logins. She's too good at social mapping, he said. No normal person should find me that fast. I moved closer. Inside the folder, photos.
Me.
Every man I'd ever dated. Each one cataloged. Name, job, location, date met, date broken, what platforms she used to reach them. Facebook, Instagram, email. One had a PDF. EFT authorization. Lauren's Mutual Bank.
Signed.
Not by me. I froze. That's my bank.
He zoomed in.
She moved $1,200 from your account to a shared Uber gift card last year. My voice cracked. I never saw that. She backdated it through a dummy email. She knows your security questions. The room tilted. Elias leaned back.
Calm.
She's not flirting, Susan. She's operating. I couldn't breathe. She hadn't just stolen men. She'd stolen me, file by file, answer by answer.
She's not a sister, I said.
She's malware. Elias looked at me. You ready for the next part? What next part? I texted her tonight. You what? I told her to meet me. Tomorrow. For dinner. In town. He waited. Watched my expression. I thought you said. I said I'd play. I didn't say who the game was for. The silence between us cracked open.
There's no safety net after this, I said.
There never was. I stood. Walked to the window. Outside, the streetlight buzzed. Moths hit glass, stupid with need. She'll think she's winning. He walked up behind me. Close. Too close. Some people only fall when they think they're climbing. I turned. Face to face. You're not afraid of her? His smile was small.
Cold.
I'm not afraid of people who need mirrors to survive. He left. Just like that. Didn't kiss me. Didn't explain. Just walked into the dark and left the folder open behind him. He didn't just let her in, he opened the door wider than I ever did. Saturday. 11:46 a.m. Elias was gone. No message. No call. No explanation. I tried his line. Straight to voicemail. Again. Then again. Third time it rang once, then silence. The kind of silence that doesn't sit. It stalks. The apartment looked untouched. Coffee cup still full. His laptop gone. I checked the logs. Nothing. No entries, no system boots. He had wiped himself. That wasn't just absence. That was protocol. I drove to the Hive. Jolene had posted another story. 2 hours ago. Her favorite kind, black and white filter, legs crossed, one stiletto dangling from her foot. Wine glass. The caption read, "Some secrets are better whispered between sheets." I parked across the street, stepped out. Inside, she was laughing. Head tilted. Hair curled the way she always curled it when she wanted something to stick to her skin. She was with someone I didn't recognize. A man, broad-shouldered, fake tan, wireless earpiece still in. Disposable. But the way she kept glancing at her phone told me. He wasn't the point. Elias was. I left. I didn't confront. Not yet. I drove back. Sat in my car. Checked my mail. Nothing. Then,
The doorbell rang.
I froze. Walked to the door.
Peeked.
No one. Only a black envelope on the ground. No return address. Inside, a single USB. No note.
Just the drive.
I plugged it in. There was one file. Elias.mp4. The video was grainy. Handheld. He was sitting in a bare room. Concrete walls. A single bulb swinging overhead. He looked tired. Shirt unbuttoned. A fresh bruise across his cheek. He started speaking. Voice low. Flat. "If you're watching this, Susan, I need you to understand what you've set in motion."
Cut.
Static. No timestamp. No metadata. No trace of origin. I tried recovering the file. Nothing. It was a one-time play. My breath caught in my throat. I replayed his voice in my head. It wasn't fear. It was surrender. I called Tara. No answer. Tried again. On the third ring, she picked up. Whispered. "I can't talk right now. Tara, something's happening." "I know. I've seen it." "What do you mean?" "She showed me things, Susan.
Pictures.
Messages. Your texts. Your accounts. You need to stop." She hung up. I stared at the wall. For a long time, I said nothing. There's a point in every storm when you realize the roof's already gone. I went to Elias's backup drive. He'd left a folder open. I don't think by accident. I clicked into it. Encrypted, but I had the password. It was my name. Backwards. Suze. Inside. Photos of Jolene. Years of them. At parties. In libraries. At banks. 2 photos stood out. One, Jolene in the courthouse parking lot, shaking hands with a man in a charcoal suit. The second, Jolene walking out of First Edge Finance. Both dated 5 years ago. Attached was a scanned form. Account beneficiary transfer. Recipient, J. Holloway. Sender, S. Holloway. I never signed that form, but the signature matched mine. Exactly. I scrolled down. The form was timestamped 3 days after Dad's funeral. I wasn't even in the state. I was in rehab. Always read what your silence lets them write. Dad used to say that. The irony's acid now. Jolene didn't just take men. She took legal control. She rerouted my access. She sold it to the world and kept me smiling. I went cold. There was something darker here. More coordinated. Not just theft.
Design.
Control. Someone built a system, and I'd been sleeping inside it. I closed the file. Shut the lid. Stepped back. A sound behind me. Something creaked. I turned. Nothing. The hallway. Empty. But it felt full. Like something had just left.
Or
just arrived. I thought I was watching him destroy her. But maybe it was always the other way around. I walked into my HR meeting at 9 a.m. sharp. Left at 9:08 without a job. Not a termination, the woman said, smiling with tight lips. Just corporate redirection. No eye contact. No real reason. Outside, the sunlight felt wrong. Too clean. Too bright for what had just happened. I opened Twitter. Jolene's face. A new podcast episode. When Sisters Turn Toxic. Healing from Manipulation. Her voice played on loop. You think you know someone, until their jealousy starts poisoning your peace. She'd flipped the script. Again. This time, she made me the monster. And the world clapped for her. At home, voicemail blinked. Tara's voice. Please don't contact me anymore. It's not safe. I didn't breathe for a full minute. Then, a knock. I opened the door. A court officer handed me a manila envelope. Restraining order. Filed by Jolene Holloway. Grounds? I asked. He shrugged. Online defamation. Alleged harassment. Financial interference. She'd gone nuclear. I closed the door. Stood still. There are moments that don't make noise, but they explode anyway. Then my phone pinged.
A tag.
Add Jolene official. Photo. Her in a soft blue dress. Microphone in hand. Applause behind her. Caption. Speak your truth. Even if it shakes the family tree. Below that, comments. Hundreds. Thousands. You're so brave. She's always been jealous. Susan sounds mentally unwell. My name was trending. And not in a way you survive. I opened the encrypted folder again. The one Elias left cracked open. One subfolder blinked like a warning light. Sister/scar_1977. Inside, a zip file. I hesitated.
Clicked.
It unzipped into dozens of images. Childhood photos. Jolene at age 7. Knees scraped. Face pale. In some photos there was a man. Always in shadows. Too tall for dad. Too old for a brother. I clicked the final file. A voice recording.
Low.
Raspy. Jolene's voice young. Maybe 10 years old. Whispering. If I smile, he doesn't get mad. If I wear the pink dress, he gives me candy. If I don't tell Susan, she stays safe.
Click.
Silence. Then, another voice.
A man.
Soft but cold. If they ever find out, she'll burn us all. My blood iced. I knew that voice. It was our father. I staggered back. The hallway spun. I played it again. Same words. Same whisper. She'd never told me. She'd protected me by letting herself rot. No wonder she needed to win. No wonder she couldn't stop. Jolene didn't build herself. She was programmed. My phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. Do not release that file. Attached, a photo.
Me.
Standing at the window. Taken 10 minutes ago. Someone was watching. I dropped to the floor. Pulled the curtains shut. Heart pounding so hard I could taste it. Someone else was involved. Someone who didn't want Jolene's truth seen. Someone with reach. I called Elias. No answer. I texted him. Who else knows about the recordings? Who's protecting her? Delivered. Not read. I needed leverage. Something she couldn't flip. I called a contact at First Edge Finance. Told them I needed confirmation of a beneficiary transfer made 5 years ago. In my name. The woman on the line hesitated. I'm sorry, I can't release that without proper verification. I didn't authorize it. I see. Let me check.
Click.
The line dropped. I checked my phone. No service. The lights flickered. A low buzz from the kitchen. Then the hallway light snapped off. A shadow crossed the glass of my front door. They were here. Whatever Jolene was hiding, Elias knew it. And now I had proof that could shatter her world. The rain hit the windshield like claws. I drove fast. Out of Charleston. Up 26 North. No music. Just GPS coordinates Elias had left buried in an archived email. An address in Meadow Ridge. Population no one. The air turned sour near the old orchard. Fences half-rotted. Trees curling in on themselves like dying limbs. The road narrowed to gravel. Then to mud. I parked under a dead oak. Ahead, a cabin. Peeling white paint. One shutter hanging loose. Porch sagged. No lights. No sound. Just wind and old ghosts. Elias's message echoed in my head. If you go there, everything changes.
For you.
For her. For me. I stepped onto the porch. Wood groaned underfoot. The front door gave with one push. Inside, dust. Moth wings. The air reeked of mildew and something else. Something buried. The living room was stripped bare. A single chair. Torn curtains. And on the floor, burn marks. I knelt.
Touched the boards. Loose.
Pried one up. Metal case beneath.
Locked.
I used a hairpin.
Click.
Inside, a camcorder. A mini tape. Labeled in Jolene's handwriting. July 3rd rules. I swallowed hard. Plugged it into the camcorder. Battery still held charge. The screen buzzed to life.
Static. Then,
Jolene, 10 years old. Hair braided.
knees tucked to her chest.
She sat alone on the cabin floor.
Talking softly.
If I smile, he doesn't yell. If I'm perfect, he won't touch Susan. She smiled.
Shaky. Practiced.
Then footsteps behind her.
Heavy.
Her head snapped toward the door. The camera dropped. View tilted.
Static.
Then a man's voice. Not yelling.
Calm.
Dangerous. If she ever tells, the whole thing burns. It was our father. My hands shook. I replayed it. Again. And again. She'd protected me. She'd bargained herself for silence. And I had hated her for it. My phone buzzed. New message. Unknown number. You open that tape, you start the fire. Attached, a screenshot. My search history. My GPS location. My home's front door, captured in real time. Someone was watching. Not just me. Elias. Jolene. All of us. This wasn't family drama. This was containment. I ran outside. Vomited behind the porch. The wind picked up. I heard branches snap, but no animals. No birds. No life. Only silence. I grabbed the tape.
Drove. Fast.
Back toward the interstate. Elias hadn't sent me there to find Jolene's trauma. He sent me to understand the system. Because this cabin, it wasn't just a hiding place. It was a training ground.
My phone rang. Tara.
I answered. Susan, her voice cracked. They came to my house. Said if I didn't delete everything you sent, I'd lose my license.
Who?
I don't know. They showed badges. But no agency name. Just letters. What letters?
Pause.
RST. I froze. I'd seen that acronym before. Elias's laptop. A background window. RST. Remote surveillance team. Not a tech startup. A contractor. Government adjacent. No oversight. No leaks. They weren't watching Jolene. They'd built her. I swerved off the exit. Parked under a bridge. Pulled the battery from my phone. Cracked the camcorder open. Slid out the tape. I'd send copies. Mail them.
Digitize them.
Whatever it took. But first, I needed answers. From the one person who had always known more than she said.
Mom.
I dialed her. She answered on the first ring. I was wondering when you'd call. You knew, I said. Long silence. I knew enough to keep you alive. That was my line. I never crossed it. You let her suffer. I let you live. I gripped the wheel. Rain pounded harder. Did Dad? Was he part of? She cut me off. Susan. Listen carefully. If you go public with that tape, they won't come for her. Silence. They'll come for you. I looked at the tape in my lap. Jolene wasn't the weapon. She was the warning. They didn't send Elias to break her. They sent him to erase me. I didn't sleep. I watched the clock bleed numbers until the sun cut through the blinds like a blade. The tape sat on the table beside me. Jolene's voice still echoed in my head. If I'm perfect, he won't touch Susan. The quiet was too sharp. Every noise outside felt staged. Every shadow stretched too long. At 7:03 a.m., I uploaded the file. Encrypted duplicates. Multiple destinations. Cloud backups. 2 copies mailed with no return address. If they came, they couldn't unmake it. Elias texted me at 7:44. We need to talk. Tonight. Train station. Platform 6. No cameras. Come alone. I stared at the message. Typed, if you try anything. Then stopped. Deleted it. Fear was a habit. I wasn't carrying it anymore. By 9 o'clock, the media started to crack. The first leak hit an independent site. Then another. By noon, I was trending again, but this time, not for jealousy.
For truth.
For her truth. Survivor breaks silence after decades-long family cover-up. They called me brave. But I was just tired. That evening, I stepped onto platform 6. Empty. Cold. The wind whipped rappers down the tracks like ghosts with nowhere left to haunt. Jolene was already there. She looked smaller. Lighter.
She didn't speak.
Neither did I. Then Elias emerged. Dark coat. Hands in pockets. Calm like always. But something in his eyes was different. He wasn't above it anymore. He was inside it. I took one step forward. You lied. I never told you the truth. Same thing. He looked at Jolene. They built her to be broken. They used me to break you. My throat tightened. Why? To erase the past. Burn the trail. You were a loose end. And now. He smiled softly. Now I'm off script. He reached into his coat slowly. No threat. Just a small black flash drive.
Tapes. Names.
Transfers. RST logs. He handed it to me. Jolene blinked fast. Why are you doing this? Because some sins don't wash. They just wait. A train horn screamed in the distance.
Low.
Long final. Then movement. Behind Elias. 2 men in dark suits.
Fast.
He turned, too slow. One raised his arm.
Gun.
Silencer. I screamed. Jolene moved first. She slammed into Elias, knocking him sideways. The gun fired. A single pop. Jolene dropped. I ran. Fell beside her. Blood pooling fast. Too fast. Her hand found mine. Her voice was barely breath. I wasn't trying to destroy you, she whispered. I know, I said. They taught you how. She smiled, teeth red. Now you'll tell it right. Then her eyes stopped moving. And everything went still.
Cut.
Later, I gave the flash drive to every reporter who would listen. Showed them the tapes. The paperwork. The forms Jolene signed as a child. The logs. The layers. The rot. The truth didn't come gently. But it came. Elias vanished. The men on the platform were never identified. The story spread, then buried again. That's how systems work. But the survivors don't forget. 3 months later, I stood outside Jolene's old townhouse. Empty.
Foreclosed.
Ivy climbing windows. I left one picture in the mailbox.
Us.
Ages 7 and 9. Side by side. Her arm around my shoulder like a shield. No caption. Sometimes pain writes over people. Sometimes it leaves them empty. But sometimes, if you dig far enough, you find the child before the script. And you finally see her. She didn't steal him. I gave him to her. But she never knew what he really was. And neither did I.